Hello everyone, welcome to Learn DAX channel. My name is Sudesh and this is the third part of the End DAX Project video series. If you haven't watched the first two parts, I would really encourage you to go ahead and watch those parts as we are building in each video. And if you watch the first two parts, then the third part will make sense. So without further ado, let's get started. So the final product that we wanted to see in our dashboard is something that looks like this. So the only thing that's missing in our dashboard right now is having these little buttons. So for example, if I select manufacturer, I get the manufacturer analysis. If I select country, I get the country analysis. If I select region, I get the region analysis. And that's something that's missing in our dashboard. Besides that, there's also something related to interactions between these visuals, which I'll explain as we move along in this video. So let's get back to our dashboard and try to create something that is going to use buttons in order to make the selection dynamic in terms of if I select product, I get the product analysis. If I select the region, I get the region analysis. So in order to do this, I'm going to use a feature of Power BI which is called bookmarks. So similar to how when we read a book and we want to kind of preserve the state of what page I was reading at that time so that I can resume reading from that particular point, we use something called as a bookmark, which is something like just a page or anything else. So let's say I'm reading a book and I've read till page number 37, and the next time I want to pick up right from the point where I left. So what that means is essentially kind of save the state at that time. So if I apply that logic in here, so what I'm suggesting is if I have this particular state of my dashboard page right now, and I want to save this state, I'm going to use something called as a bookmark. So let me open the selection pane as well as the bookmarks pane. And I'll tell you why we are also opening the selection pane in some time. So this is the current state of my dashboard and I want to save the state. So I'll add a bookmark and I'll call it product analysis. And that is because at this point I am viewing this table and this table is giving me the product analysis. Now, like I see in this end product in our complete dashboard, the second is the category analysis. So if I click on category, I should get the category analysis. So I would want to also have a state of the dashboard which is kind of giving me this state and not the product. So how do I achieve that? Well, in order to do that, what we want to do is I will quickly close this. So I will copy and paste and superimpose this table over my product analysis table and then freeze that state or save that state and convert it into another bookmark. So what does that mean? So let's say I have this table and what we're going to do is we will take the coordinates of this table so we can superimpose it on our older table exactly, and we don't have to worry about putting it exactly in place. So the coordinates of this table are 868 and 625. So let me just note it here, 868 and 625. So I'll also open the selection pane at this point. So right now I have two tables. The one which is the one that I had originally, and this is the second one which I had copied from my original table. Now I want the state of the visual such that now I want to see the category. So first of all, I'm going to rename this table as category analysis. Okay. Now the second thing is I want to view not the product but the category. So I'm going to change here from product to category. So that's the second change that I've made. Now I want to hide this table and place the category table on exactly at this place. So for that, I will simply click on this icon that you see, this eye icon, this one. So if I click on that, it's going to hide it. So see, I've hidden that particular table. Now I will place this table exactly at those coordinates. So I go back to general properties and the position will be 868, 868 and 625. So now I placed it exactly at that point. And now I want to save this state of my dashboard. So I will create a new bookmark and I will call it category analysis, and I will update this state so it gets updated. So now when I click on the product analysis, what I see is I am seeing both the tables, the category analysis table as well as the product analysis table. So I have to hide this and update the product analysis bookmark so that when I click on category analysis, I get category analysis. When I get the click on the product analysis, I click on the I get the product analysis table. Now similarly, I have to again take a copy and I have to paste this. And the third analysis is the manufacturer analysis. So I will change the name of this table in the selection pane to manufacturer analysis. And then in here, I have to remove category and instead use manufacturer. Again, I have to hide this table, which is the category analysis. And then I have to move this table so that the coordinates align exactly to the coordinates where my initial table was. So again, it will be 868 and 625. Now I have to add another bookmark because now I'm saving the state of this particular state of the dashboard, and I will again update this. But as soon as I update this and I click on category analysis, you see that in that I can see the manufacturer analysis table also existing. So I have to hide it again and update it. Similarly, in case of product analysis, I have to hide it again and update. And we have to repeat this for all our 6 bookmarks. So again, I will copy this, paste this, place it somewhere else. My next analysis is the country analysis. So I will call this country analysis. I'm just copying and pasting. Instead of the product, I will need country. So I'll pull in country from here. I will hide this table, which is my product analysis table, and I will place it right at the point where my coordinates are 868 and 625. So I write 868 here, I write 625 here. And then again, in order to preserve this state of my dashboard, I will add another bookmark. And I will call it country analysis and I have to update this. Similarly, for manufacturer analysis, I have to hide the country analysis table and update. For category analysis, I have to hide the country analysis table and update. For the product analysis, I have to hide the country analysis and update. Now, again, copy, paste. Now we have region analysis. So I will again rename this table as region analysis. From this, I have to remove the product and I have to add the region. So region goes in here and I have to hide this table again and I have to change the coordinates of this table so that its new coordinates are 868 and 625. Then I add another bookmark because I'm saving this current state. I call it region analysis and I update it. Similarly for country analysis, I am hiding the region analysis table. For manufacturer analysis, I am hiding the region analysis table. For category analysis, I am hiding the region analysis table. For the product analysis, I am hiding the region analysis table and updating. Now we have come to the last of the bookmarks. So last is my payment method analysis. So again, we have this new table. We hide the product analysis table. We place this table at the coordinates which coincide with 868, 625. Then instead of product, what do I want? I want the payment method. So again, I remove the product name, I add the payment method, and I will just pull it here. So now this table is giving me the payment method. I change its name to payment method analysis. Now I save this state of the dashboard and I call it payment method analysis and I update this. Again, in region analysis, I hide the payment method analysis, I update. In country analysis, I hide. I hide the payment method analysis. In manufacturer analysis, I hide the payment method analysis. In category analysis, I hide the payment method analysis. In product analysis, I hide the payment method analysis and I update. So now when I click on the product analysis, let me close the selection pane. I get the product analysis. When I click on category analysis, I get the category analysis. When I click on manufacturer analysis, I get manufacturer. When I click on country analysis, I get the country. When I click on region analysis, I get the region. When I click on payment method analysis, I get the payment. So that completes the part of creating the bookmarks. Now I just have to add a bookmarks navigator and then rest everything will be done by Power BI itself. So now I go to insert, buttons, navigator, bookmark navigator, and I will bring it here. Just change the position such that it's properly aligned. Now let's change the formatting a bit. Let's make it a rounded rectangle, maybe 12 as rounded corner percentage. In style, I want the fill to be consistent with the other colors that I have. Again, making it 40%. So it's more in sync with what we have had until now. Border, let's keep it same as we have for the others. We don't need the transparency or the shadows. So I'll save this. So when I click Control plus click product analysis, it's giving me the products. When I click on category analysis, it's giving me the category. When I click on manufacturer analysis, it's giving me the manufacturer. So we have done the first part of our video. Now let's go to the interactions between the visuals. So if I select the Bluetooth speaker, well, I can see every other visual getting affected except for this, which is the orders table or the repeated orders table. So why is that happening? Well, in order to do that, we're gonna have to take a look at the data model. So let's go to our data model and we see that I have this repeated orders products table and the products table and the sales table. So while there is a relation between the sales table and the products table, there is no relation between the repeated orders products table and either of the products or the sales table. So I can see a customer ID here and I can see a customer ID in the sales table. So let me just join these two. And when I join, I'm getting some error which saying that the relationship has cardinality many to many. So what is the way to get around this? Well, we are going to create a bridge table which will have all the unique customer IDs, and that bridge table will act as a unique set of customer IDs which can connect both these tables. So if I go to my report view, go to modeling and create a new table. I will call it customer ID. So customer ID is equal to, I can either use the all function or I can use the all no blank row function. All no blank row function, essentially what that does is, should there be any blank values in my customers table, it's going to discard those values and only going to give me the no blank rows. But in our case, since there are no blank values, so either of the two will work. So I will select the sales customer ID. Where do I have the customer ID? Is it in the products table or in the, yeah, it's in the sales table itself. So once I'm created that, let me go back to my visual or the modeling view and let's connect these two. So customer ID connected to the orders table and customer ID connected with the sales table. Well, now I think the problem should be solved. So now if I go and select this Bluetooth speaker, all the visuals are getting affected except for this one again. So now what could be the reason? We had no relationship earlier. Now we have, and still it's not filtering. Well, that's because when we are making a selection, there are a lot of values that are coming from the sales table. And since if you see the filtering direction is going from customer ID to the sales table. But when we are making selections in that table, the change is not propagating from sales to the orders table. So in order to do that, we will have to enable bidirectional filtering. So if I go to properties and select cross filtering direction as both, then in that case, I should be able to filter values coming from sales and then propagate to the orders table. So let's check. So now if I select the Bluetooth speaker, okay, there is some change that has happened, but not quite. I mean, I'm getting the Bluetooth speaker, but it's not narrowing down to a product table. Now, what could be the reason for that? Well, the reason is that I do have a relation between the repeated orders table and the sales table, but there is no connection between the products table and the repeated orders products table. So let's try and build a relation between these two. But what is the common column in these two? Well, I have the product ID here and I have the product ID here. So let's try with that. Let's see what happens. Now, if I go ahead and select the Bluetooth speaker, yeah, now it is interacting with the visual. So now when I select Bluetooth speaker, it is giving me the Bluetooth speaker. Now let's try the other way around. What if I select a smartphone here and nothing's happening? I mean, I selected customer ID 1 and no visual is getting affected. Why is that? Well, that's because while the other tables like the products table or the sales table are filtering my repeated order products table, but this table is not in return filtering any. So let's try and change the bidirectional filtering to many or cross filter direction to many. Okay, so this is not allowed is what it is telling us. Let's try and maybe use this way by setting this filtering direction to both. Let's just see what happens. So now when I select smartphone, now this is changing all of my visuals. So now when I'm selecting smartphone, while it is able to pinpoint to a smartphone and the smartphone's gross revenue is 4075 or the total revenue is 4075 and the gross revenue is 4500 and the total COGS if I see from this table is okay. I'm having total COGS as 2700. So we have pretty much covered that the interactions that we have based on our selections are working fine. So if I select a tablet, then it is narrowing down to the product tablet and it is giving me the number of orders that were placed for tablet which is 2204. So now if I check here on 2204 a sale was made of rupees 1785. If I go and check here, yes, now again another sale was made on 5th of August 23 and it was amounting 1330. If I check here, it was amounting 1330. And if I take a look at the total sales amount, it is 3815. And do I have the total sales amount here? Well, I only have the total COGS, which is 2800, which can be verified here. I have the total revenue as 4515, which can be verified here. And the gross revenue is something that I have not pulled in any of the visuals. And the gross profit is 2100, which is visible here. And the net profit is 1715, which is visible here. So, so yeah, we have verified that. Is there anything else that we are missing in this? Let's check the sales amount by country table. 2485, 700, 1330. Is it correct? Let's check 2485, 700 and 1330. Let's pull out our calculator and add these values so we can have proper verification. 2485 plus 1330 plus 700. Yeah, so 4515 is the total revenue. So yeah, we have pretty much covered everything and we have verified, we have understood the interactions, we have created all our bookmarks, and maybe we can give it a try of using this slicer because we haven't used this until now. So I have these three product IDs 101, 102, 103, and they have made a total COGS is 10,500, which is okay, verified. Total revenue is 15,715, which is verified. My gross profit stands at 6400, which is verified. My net profit stands at 5215 again, which is verified. But there's one thing that I can see here. Yeah, it is verified. Like everything is getting filtered accordingly. So yeah, that brings us to end of this series and we have successfully built this dashboard using a simple product and sales table, with having just 10 rows in products and maybe 30 rows in the sales. So I hope you enjoyed watching this whole series of videos, which contained solving business problems, understanding the data set, and then finally building this dashboard. So if you enjoyed, please let me know in the comments. Please share it with your friends. And yeah, like I say at the end of every video, thanks for watching and happy learning.